Welcome to problem number 21 from the August 2017 Algebra Regents exam. So in this question, we're comparing the Ebola virus, which has an infection rate of 11% per day, and the SARS virus, which has a rate of 4% per day. And what we're trying to compare basically the amount of cases of SARS and Ebola that we would expect after both 10 days and 53 days, and kind of compare which one has more in each of those days. So in order to do that, we're going to have to write out the equations that are formed from these. Now to do this, we're going to be using the same type of formula or equation that you use for finding compound interest. And that would be the final amount is equal to your principal or starting amount multiplied by 1 plus the rate of percent that's increasing. Because it's increasing, it's in addition. And that's all to the power of t, or time. In this case, we're going to be using those days. Okay, so for Ebola, let's go over to the side here. So in this case, we're going to be using the formula. So our final amount is going to be the initial amount, which is, it starts with one case. So it'd be 1 times 1 plus our rate, which is 11%. Now, of course, we want to write that as a decimal. So it's going to be 1 plus 11% as a decimal, which would be 0.11. And that's going to become 1.11 or 1.11. So I'm actually just going to quickly, just to save space, I'm going to write that right there. So it's times 1.11. And it's going to be to the power of the number of days. Let's start with day 10. And then we're also going to calculate the amount of Ebola after 53 days. So it's going to be the exact same formula, except it's going to be to the power of 53. Now, I'm going to type those into our calculators, and we're going to round it to the nearest whole number since we're talking about the number of people that have Ebola. In the first one, it's going to round to 3 people, and after 53 days, you should get 252. Okay, now let's take a look at SARS. So our formula, our initial amount is 30. It starts with 30 cases. And we're going to be multiplying that by 1 plus our rate of increase, which is 4%. As a decimal, that's going to be 0.04. So added together, that would be 1.04. And we're going to take that to the power of 10. Oops. Lost my pen there. Okay, to the power of 10. And we'll also calculate how much there would be after 53 days. So it would be to the power of 53. So the first one, if we round it, we should get an answer of 44. And after 53 days, rounded, we would get 240 cases. Okay. So comparing the two, after 10 days, it looks like SARS has the greater amount. And after 53 days, it's the opposite. Ebola has a greater amount. So the correct solution is that at day 10, there are more SARS cases, but at day 53, there are more Ebola cases. So option number 3. All right, that's all for the video, and thanks for visiting JD's Regents Preparation.